Let's get started with this section. And for each speaker, we allow 2 minutes for Q&A. So, like Peter had 80 minutes, for the rest of the speaker have the 23 minutes for your presentation. So, so this is my job. So I need to have the time control. Okay. So as you know, that Peter is the PI for this this flagship program of the AsiaPacific Precision Medicine Silicon Valley. And for those who are not familiar with Peter, but Peter is a really well-known genomic researcher in Taiwan, and also he is a leading scientist in gene sequencing cancer genomic and microbiome genomic study. And so Peter is currently not only as the director of this research so-called at NHI is the research director, planning and development, and also he's also the PI at our division, our institute. And as well as Peter is also a professor in the National Liaoning University. And Peter really have tremendous effort and research achievement in past 2 decades. And I think we will try to set the time with operative. Let's welcome Peter Tsai for his talk.
谢谢修明. So thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. So I set my time. So 80 minutes. Okay. In the morning, we present Taiwan Rare Disease Network. This is sponsored by Flagship program. So Flagship program is a infrastructure program supported by our government. So I'm going to briefly introduce this program, and later on the presentation, including one by Mark Dunneberg, is to showcase what we have achieved so far. So I have the following disclosure. So for those who can read Chinese, this is our mission statement for NHI. It's located 100 kilometers south of Taipei. I wish all you can have the time to visit. So our mission is to conduct medical research to promote health and welfare for our citizens and residents of this country. Okay, so I apologize again for this slide in Chinese language, but suffice to say this infrastructure program which started in 2017. So we are over 2 years now, operated by Ministry of Health and Welfare, where our money coming from, and also Ministry of Science and Technology, MOST, is supporting the research on maternal health, childhood problem, disease, and also support IT infrastructures. For NHI program, I think our primary goal, the mandate, is to promote industry development originally. And we focus on cancer prevention and cardiometabolic diseases. Okay, this is a grand scheme, overall structure of the program. So this is what government wants, to drive industry development, new product, services, and high salary employment. I think our overall salary scale is too low. So we set up this Taiwan Genomic Industry Alliance to promote. And as researchers, I believe strongly in basic research and innovation. So that involves university and medical centers, locally and internationally. This afternoon, I'm going to focus mainly on this topic. NHI do not have the medical facility, hospitals, and so on. So we need to reach out, work with the doctors and physicians in Taiwan. We have a very good healthcare system. So at the end of the day, we would like to establish what I call genetic information system for digital healthcare in Taiwan. This morning we talk about rare disease, I think pretty much we established a system to help using whole genome sequencing to provide molecular diagnosis and registry for rare disease. Okay. So we saw this slide in the morning. Apologize again in Chinese language. So we focus on rare disease network, Taiwan Rare Disease Network, TRDN. This afternoon, I invited quite a few outstanding leaders to talk about collaboration with medical center. This is TRDN's outline. I just want to emphasize it's not only a technological issue, it's a health, economic, social issue. We require a lot of systematic effort to put this into actual practice. We have seen this early on, so we have engaged with key opinion and the leaders in Taiwan to work on various important diseases, immunodeficiency, epilepsy, SPA, spinal cellular ataxia, a neurological degenerative disorder, hearing impairment. We're going to hear Professor Wu talk in the afternoon, and also general undiagnosed disease. Okay. We're quite successful in the beginning to work on this area. We were fortunate to collaborate with Dr. Li, who is a physician immunologist working in Linkou Changgen Yiyuan. He's the expert on immunodeficiency. We are very happy, and thanks to Lin Yongfeng, I don't know if Yongfeng is here today. Yeah. We enjoy working with them, with the doctors. All out of 4 cases which Dr. Li could not make any diagnosis about this immunodeficiency, primary immunodeficiency, we can provide genetic evidence for the causes of this disease. This nomenclature, this one, the DNA we sent to Makojin, Korea. So that was before we had the facility. So then we have the TRDN nomenclature. I think we need to increase the digit to maybe 4 or 5. Okay, we are happy to do that. Okay, so I'm going to present the first case is Dr. Lin Rui-Ying. She happened to be my classmate in medical school. She referred to me a very challenged cases of gastrointestinal defect and immunodeficiency syndrome. Okay. All right, so this case, the case presented with us was a newborn baby girl who had symptoms of primary immunodeficiency and inflammatory bowel disease. Her father and mother were quite healthy. Actually, the mother quit her work because of the baby. And they had previously had a baby girl had similar condition. So they were young couples. They were desperate to find out the reason. So the first baby was died before age 1, but now the baby came to our attention. So obviously, as a geneticists, we think this is a heterozygous mutation problem because these couples are not related and probably it's autosomal recessive. So based on this, I don't want to go through this workflow, but it was very difficult to begin with. Now we began to practice more and more, and we know how to do it right. I think it's very important that Yongfeng and a lot of team members have very solid genetic training. So we, based on the hypothesis, these 2 kids, 2 girls have compound heterozygote mutation. But the long story short, we sequenced these 2, all right, and with very high coverage, and we will purposely look for heterozygous variant deficiency mutation and compound heterozygote. We end up with 10 genes and 49 variant. I think it's important to have public-based information. In this case, we look into the online Mendelian's men, OMIM. as Dr. Victor Macusi's pioneer work. So we were able to find and conclude that these two girls has this disease. And we confirmed that by single sequencing. So these point mutation came from mother. Okay, the two girls has the same mutation. The second mutation, which is the Flagship mutation, came from father. This is really unfortunate for these young couples. They were curious about why they have this disease. It turned out that the gene that's responsible for this serious disease called TTC78 is a regulatory protein for the RhoA signaling protein. For me, I had been away from the laboratory, so I'm not the expert on it. So I consult a lot of experts like RhoA and molecular biologists. So it's possible because TTC78 is a genetic regulator of RhoA. And because of the mutation of this, the RhoA activity showed up. And it turned into a situation where the cell polarity was altered. So actually, because there are very few cases, that's a rare disease. 罕病中的罕病, there are less than a dozen living patients in the world. So a family called Andrew Miller lived in Ohio, USA. So we were able to contact her through Facebook. And Andrew helped us to connect, and his Facebook, he basically said the cell is turned upside down and inside out. 他就用积木来解释, so he put in this common measure. So not only because of this problem in cell polarity causing this environmental problem in the developing valve, also its affect the developing immune system. So we were very excited and feel great that we can identify the mutation. So the challenge was, at that time, we worked very hard to find a solution or any possible medicine for this lady. Unfortunately, it did not work out. So it turned out the RhoA kinase inhibitor, some of them are experimental, it's not okay to inject to the patients. But there is one medicine available in Japan, but Japan would not export this medicine outside of the US. You have to ship or you have to transport the girl to Japan. So that was not possible. But in any case, that was a good try to try to save the baby. So that's the first story, the only story for this afternoon, because of time limit. So up to last month, we have continued to apply this high throughput sequencing thanks to Illumina, the number 6000. We focus on rare disease, difficult disease. I know Paul Wu Yang Jiao, he has also made great efforts. He's supported by this Flagship program. He provides rapid diagnosis for the ICU, pediatric ICU, newborn ICU. So that's another area we should really help them to continue to develop these services. So one is on rare and difficult diseases, and the other is on cancer. So I want to bring to your attention our ambition is to build strong databases for important and common cancer of this region, liver cancers, lung cancer, for important reasons which I will elaborate in the next few slides. So altogether, we are very close to 2,000 mark. So we need to maintain this momentum. So I'm going to switch gear now to the cancer area. How much time do I say? 3 minutes. Okay. Thank you. So I would like to take a transactional comparative approach to work on cancer, UTUC, which Dr. Wei will talk about later on, so I will just skip this one. So these cancer were picked for important reason. In the important strong reason, for example, lung cancer, which we work on with our Institute of Molecular Genomic Medicine early on, important work. We found the EGFR mutation is 55% in the Asian population in Taiwan. So it's an important clue. And so UTUC, urological cancers, this curve is on the rise and is an important one. So I think that Dr. Wei will talk about that more. So we help them to establish a network in Taiwan. NHI has a mission to deal with important issues through research. So we were able to assemble this network throughout Taiwan, mostly urologists, and we conduct comparative genomic approach, starting with Hirosaki. With this, I think we're able to identify subtype of cancers of UTUC, and there's a clinical trial is being proposed to treat using immunotherapy based on our finding. So at the end, I would like to close that we are not alone. We need to reach out and network. And we have been benefited by taking the great advance in UK. So in the UK, they have achieved sequencing 100,000 genome, mostly for rare disease and cancer, end of last year. So I think that's a very important framework we can learn. And I think this is a very important slide that we can see one slide many, many times. I think UK, they have took advantage of their healthcare system. They applied the biobank study, genomic, IT. I think at the end of the day, and also is being continuous working is to provide this important information for clinical, basic research, for training, and for industrial development. This is my dream. So before I retire, I want to make sure this was ongoing, and the young generation will continue to work. We wish to provide support continuous to sequence 500,000 genome, hopefully by 2025, and with the help and partnership with Immunodeficiency, by operating more efficiently, we should be able to provide whole genome sequence or genomic analysis as a basic services to the system. So at the end, I would like to thank you for the support from our government, Ministry of Health and Welfare, and Taiwan Foundation for Rare Disorders. I think Louis is here, Chen Guanru, Zhixingzang, the patient, family, and doctors supporting the work for rare disease. The Flagship team, our partner, industrial partner, Taijimang公司 in the代表. And of course, this meeting was organized and managed by NHI Forum and also co-sponsored by Biomedical. 谢谢各位。